What is going on, all you shrimp keepers out there? So today we have something special, and for all of you that this is your first time here, my name is Rob with flipaquatics.com. We got DJM behind the camera, and we're going to be talking about these 10-gallon tanks. So I set these tanks up to do some breeding. I've been getting into endlers and livebearers, so if you guys are really interested in what you can keep in a 10-gallon tank, this is probably a good video for you. If you've ever kept livebearers or if you've never kept livebearers, either way, you're going to see some really cool stuff. And so I got DJM with me. We're going to go through here, kind of show off each individual tank and kind of what we have in this room, what's breeding, what's not breeding. But yeah, let's dive right into this video. All right, so first up, these guys are the Pygmy cory. These guys are actually breeding super well for us. We have some swordtail in there. Our water is fairly hard. It's kind of like right in the middle. And these guys have been doing really well for us. I want to say there's about 20-ish babies in there. We got the swordtail, we got some dwarf water lettuce up top, some Rickia flutens floating through there. And then next up, this is actually my favorite swordtail. It's called a Miller swordtail. It's a wild type. These guys have not bred for us yet. I'm gonna try to do something different in this tank to see if I can get them to breed. But you know, these are ones that I really want to breed and haven't bred yet. But you know what can you do? Next up, we got the least killifish. These are my wife's favorite livebearer of all time. They are super slow breeders, so like they only have like one baby, maybe two babies every month. And so I haven't seen any breeding in here yet, but that doesn't mean that it's not happening. There's a lot of cover in here. Again, we're using the swordtail. Oh, you know what? I just saw a baby. First time seeing a baby in here. Look how freaking cool this is. So he's up right next to the mat filter where the hole comes out. He's right next to it. Just went into the current. It's coming up. Oh, don't eat him. Don't eat him. I'll be so sad. Run, buddy. Whoo. I would have, like, you guys would have seen my most happiest, like, saw baby that I've been waiting for a long time and then just devastated. So I'm glad little man made it out of there safe and sound, but they are breeding, which is super exciting. You saw how tiny that guy was. Now, the next setup, these are one of my favorite setups. I really like the guppy grass. I've always liked guppy grass, although my team just like kind of pulled it out, which I don't know why they did that. You know what? I'm gonna have to spank him when I'm done. I'm just kidding. I digress. Anyway, yeah, so this is my favorite setup because it's got the guppy grass, which is my favorite plant. And the guys in here, I believe these are the red swamp guppies. Let me see. Yes, they are the red swamp guppies. I personally haven't seen these been breeding either, but the least killifish has caught me off guard. So there's a chance that they've been breeding. These guys are a wild type guppy. They're the smallest guppy, and you can just, yeah, those males are just gorgeous with the red. I think it's red. It's either red or orange. Don't judge me. I can't see colors. But yeah, next one. This is probably my favorite endler. It's the sky blue endler. We have a decent amount of babies in here. Like up front is all babies and all the adults are in the back. You can see a male kind of like up in the top, and they just have like that really pretty blue with like a yellow streak or an orange streak on their tail. Just a really cool color combination. And again, I've really been getting into the endlers, so that's a fun one for me. Next up is a tank that needs reset, so we won't talk about that one. Now here's where like we have so many endlers now that I actually have to check. So this one looks to be the Smoky Mary endler, which now that I'm looking at it, I can tell. They just have like a really dark color, like charcoal almost. And then got a couple females in there. These ones I haven't checked on in a bit. I don't think they're breeding yet. Also, the tank's really not set up for them to be breeding yet. We need to add some like floating cover, something where like the babies can go down when they're born or swim up into. So you'll see some other tanks that we have set up that are good examples of that. Next up was Bengal tiger. So we actually didn't have very many of these left. It was only the babies left. We sold all the adults. We do have one male, which is exciting. And then it looks to be like a couple younger females, definitely a lot of babies. So we have some genetics we can work with. But again, this tank's really not set up for breeding at the moment. And then moving on, which ones are these? These are, I can't think of the name of it. They came from Jakarta. The Jinga rubra, that's what it is. And these actually came from the Czech Republic. So these are hobbyist bred in Czech, and they're super high quality. But these ones are, they almost look like they're albino, but they're not albino. And they just have really cool patterns of like orange throughout their yellowish, like albino looking body. And how you know they're not albino is their eyes are still the black color. So very, very cool. And then we got 2 more tanks that need reset. And then this tank has a ton of babies. Which ones are these? The snakeskin endlers. I think this is the one that I still need to really get in here and call. I'll show you at the end of this video our 300 gallon, which has a ton of babies in it as well. And so the reason that we started using that as that is a big endler community tank is because I have all the breeding endlers in the 10 gallons, and I want a place to call them, so like I can literally just catch one out, throw it in there, and I know it's in a good home. And so that's this breeding group. They're going absolutely crazy. We got the green hornets and then the white peacocks. There's a lot of endlers. You gotta label your stuff. So the green hornets, these guys are interesting. I personally can't see the colors on these, so I guess they're green. I mean, DJM, can you see them?
Like a little bit.
If you guys can't hear M, she says she sees it a little bit.
Green.
Okay. So I need to get M down here to call these for me, and we only keep the super green ones. But yeah, that's just, green's a really tough color for me to see. It's usually, I see it as like a black or a black. It's but the white peacocks, different shades of black. It's either dark black, light black. Now these ones, white, I can definitely see white. So you get the white in the tail, which white is a hard color to get in an endler. And so cool that these guys have it. So just the white peacock. And the reason they're called the peacock is like you see how it's a black spot and then white around it. It resembles like a peacock tail. These guys are super cool. These guys have been doing really good for us. And then next, we got the yellow tiger endlers, which I really like the color of this one versus the other ones, because like this one reminds me of like a flame as it swims through the water, versus like these ones are okay, but I'll probably keep this one as like the main breeding male. And maybe like, how did that guy get in there? Please tell me, how is there a shrimp in this tank? There's literally what looks to be a cherry shrimp in the tank. You know, you just never know what you're gonna find at Flipaquatics these days. So it's just crazy. But the last two, these two, I am very excited about. First up is going to be the 4-spot Livebearer. And you just see all these babies. Now, to give you an idea, these guys are, I mean, they're not like the most amazing, beautiful looking fish, but like these guys are near impossible to find. And so the fact that they're breeding is super exciting. And I want to say like the amount that we brought them in for and like how much our typical like, you know, operational costs would go into it, these probably would be like $40 to $50 each, like something just ridiculous. And so the fact that they're breeding is super exciting. And why that's exciting for you all watching, one, you could be curious and want these. Two, if we're able to breed them, then that drives the cost down significantly. So that's super exciting. And then this one, we're doing the, what is that, water sprite. It's not grown super great yet, but we're going to give it a little bit more time. We might switch it out for guppy grass in the future. Now, these guys are one of my personal favorites. Honestly, these are probably my favorite Livebearer in the room right now. And these are also breeding, which this is the first time I actually see the baby in the very, very back, like swimming this way. These are the tiger teddies. So the fact that these are breeding makes me super happy. Yeah, just, you know, you just put all this hard work into it, and to see the fruit of your labor, it's a good feeling. So now, granted, by labor, I mean my team has done a phenomenal job taking care of these for me. So that's fun. I just get to enjoy them. But let's check out this 300 gallon tank. You all were wondering, 480's looking great. It's looking good. Let's turn this sucker on. And Em and everyone at home, this tank, you know, if you guys have been watching Coffee with Flip, insert plug here.
That is the craziest thing I've heard. What?
Will is shook right now.
Watch it, and this spiral cleans it off.
How did you even think of that?
Wait. Okay, what was the initial question?
If you guys have been watching Coffee with Flip, you'll know that this tank has gone through some, you know, some hard times, but we're on the mend. And so we got this beautiful group of like, they're like premium assorted endlers again, from Czech Republic. That's where we try to get as much stuff as we can because it's all hobbyist bred, so it comes in just like it's perfect. And so we got all these endlers in here, and they kind of just like school and do their thing. But then if you start like looking into like all the nooks, there's literally just like, if I had to guess, I would say there's probably close to 100 babies in there, and which is exciting because I want to say like we ordered around 100 endlers, maybe a little bit more, and they've already doubled. It's just crazy. Yeah, it's just fun, and I've been really enjoying this room. I'm sure Em enjoys it because like we get to shoot videos down here, we get to do projects. I hopefully our 10-gallon wall inspires you guys. If you guys are at home debating on a tank, 10-gallon tank is probably the smallest I would go as a beginner. Even as an expert hobbyist, 10-gallon is just easier to control. But get yourself some Livebearers, some endlers, because I promise you, you're going to have a great time with them. But that's what I got for you guys today. So, huge shout out to the DJ behind the camera for making this all happen. Literally, we have all this work going on today, and she's like, Rob, we need to do video. And so here we are. But shout out to Em, and thank you all so much for being a part of the Flipaquatics family. Huge shout out to all of our club members out there. Thank you guys so much for doing what you do. You guys make it a great week. As always, God bless. We'll catch you on the flip side.